What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. So I'm not new to social media here. I've been on TikTok for quite a while, and I've been in RV transport in this business for the better part of 5 or 6 years now. I've been a little bit everywhere. I've put in a lot of miles, and I've pulled a lot of different things, and I've had lots of different equipment, and I've done this job many different types of ways and strategies. So my main focus out of this channel was just to help new drivers and potential drivers that want to get into this business. And then also anyone that's done it for a while, if you're going somewhere that I've been and vice versa, you know, I like the community of drivers just helping each other out, and I think that's what this is all about. So with that said, I'm gonna do my first video here and just kind of show the setup that I've got, some of the basic things that you're gonna need, some of the things that you're gonna want, and maybe even some things that you don't want. I don't know. If you have questions though, comment below. If you want to know more about this business, I put my email down in a link. I also put my TikTok in a link, so go follow me on there. Like I said, I've been at that for probably a year or so. So just about every company is going to require you to have a hitch like this. It's for weight distribution purposes. You have to have a hitch that you can put bars on so that you can take some of the weight off the rear end of your truck, I guess. I think it's an insurance policy thing with most companies, but I'm not sure on that. So you're gonna need this hitch. You can start with bumper pulls only at most places, I think. And then another thing you're gonna need while I'm down here is you're gonna need a full length mud flap like this. That's just an Ultra Guard. It's probably the most common one that transporters run that I see. I also think it's the most professional looking one. I don't prefer them that hang from the hitch. I think it looks a little tacky, but that's just my preference. You're also gonna need some regular mud flaps. Something like these. I can't remember what brand these are, but they're gonna need to cover your entire, you know, if you're duals, you're gonna need to cover the entire duals. If you're single wheel, they're just little tiny ones. There are places up around Indiana that set you up with this kind of stuff, but if you're like me and you want to save a few bucks, get this stuff done at home, shop around on Amazon, places like that, and you'll find the flaps you need, and just get to work and start piecing your stuff together. So the reason I'm showing you this stuff is because when you get up there, they're gonna inspect your truck, and if your truck's not totally set up, and I've seen this so many times, you know, if you got 6 transporters at orientation, you've probably got 4 or 5 of them, if not all of them, that are gonna need some piece of equipment that they're gonna have to go do on their lunch break. Now I make this video in hopes that I can save you the time from doing that, because there's a very long list of things that they require, most companies do, before you even get there. So hopefully this helps somebody out in that sense. But you don't have to have a 5th wheel hitch when you start, but you're gonna be limited to bumper pulls only, which is, I don't know, that's probably gonna limit you to only 60% of the freight that's on the board, wherever you're at. And then I run a B&W Companion. You can find those used on Marketplace all day long. Pretty much any of this stuff you can find on Marketplace. There's people getting out of this business every day, and they just wanna recoup some of their funds, so definitely take advantage of that. So while I'm back here, I also run a 90-gallon tank. I've ran 3 different styles of tanks. I've ran a 60-gallon when I started. I don't recommend anything that small. 90 is probably the smallest I would get. You're gonna wanna take advantage of every penny you can save at the pump with the discounts that your company gets you. So, like I do, I drive from Missouri up to Indiana. Once you pass Missouri, fuel is very expensive. So you wanna be able to get yourself back to Missouri or Oklahoma. That's the way I like to run. It saves me a lot of money, and they pay for themselves very quickly. So these items right here, I keep in this toolbox. That's a UWS 5th wheel box. If you pull gooseneck very often, I don't recommend it, but for 5th wheels, it's great. I keep my load bars in there. That's the reason I don't have one of the V-shaped boxes, is because they have to be like, you know, it needs to be a long box to put the load bars in. But anyways, I figured I would show some of the things that I keep in there. These are very important things. Safety triangles, you're gonna need those. DOT requires you to have them. Keep them in a reasonably accessible spot as well. You're gonna need a deep cycle marine battery. If you're gonna do bumper pulls only, you can get away with one of those like little ones. I've never had one because I do bigger trailers a lot. But you're gonna need that big battery, and you're gonna need a torque wrench. Important to torque wheels every time you take off with a trailer. You don't want that liability on you. Just go ahead and take that off the table. But a lot of people that get into this business, especially non-CDL drivers, have never done anything DOT regulated, you know, never driven trucks or anything. I can't stress the importance of compliance items like this. They don't mess around when it comes to inspections, and they will terminate you so fast when you get inspected and you fail for something stupid like not having triangles with you. And with that being said, I keep a fire extinguisher bolted to the fender well. I think that's a great spot for me. You got to have it easily accessible and make sure it's always charged. If you don't have that on you, they'll know you for that as well. So I'm kind of just shooting from the hip here, but off the top of my head, I remember a lot of the things that are on those lists that companies will ask you to have. One of those is going to be a padlock. Whether they ask you to have it or not, you're going to want that so you can lock the coupler onto hitches. Just kind of gives you a peace of mind instead of just having some little pin there. Another thing everybody needs to have is a 1-inch ratchet strap. No bigger than that. 1 inch is just fine. You're going to need that to strap the battery to the trailer. So if your battery is not secure to the trailer, even if it comes with a battery and it's got one of those like Mickey Mouse looking little straps on it, put this on anyways. DOT would appreciate that. Something that people complain about having to get a lot is a printer, and I get it. These are expensive, and you're probably wondering why in the world would I need a printer, but it comes in handy all the time. I like printing my paperwork before I get where I'm going. Some companies' yards will have kiosks there with printers, and that's great. Free paper, free ink, totally take advantage of that. But if you're picking up reloads, say you're going to a Camping World just to go to another Camping World, you don't want to have to ask them to print paperwork for you, because I promise they're going to act like it's a burden. So I run this Epson printer. I can't say too many good things about it because it's the second one I've owned, but it does work most of the time. The last thing I'm going to show here is a bed setup to sleep in. People are probably wondering, do you sleep in the back seat? Of course not. Take the back seat out. Some people take the front seat out. You can do it either way. I took the back seat out of mine, and I had this frame built. I had a friend of mine build that. I mean, it's not hard to build yourself. I think most people can do it as long as you got a saw and some lumber. But you're going to want to keep it high enough that you can still store stuff down here. Like, don't put it so low, but don't also put it so high that like you can't, you know, lift your head up in the middle of the night. But I don't know, it works diagonally. I'm 5'8", and it's just big enough for me. So if you're 5'10" or taller and you sleep like you're 6 foot, you might want to look into taking out the front seat. That's totally something people do as well. So I'll just look inside here a little bit. As you can see, you can store stuff down here. Always keep some random tools with you, wrenches, ratchets. You're gonna break down somewhere one of these days and end up with no cell service and needing to fix something. It happens for sure. So yeah, there's some runners there, and it's pretty solid built. And mattresses, as far as that goes, you can just get those from Amazon. There's tons of memory foam mattresses that are 4 inches or 6 inches thick or whatever. I think that one's just 4 inches with some egg foam on top of it. Here's a view from the other side, same thing. I probably should have made my bed a little nicer before I showed the whole world to it, but it is what it is. While I'm down here, I always recommend keeping an impact on you. That way, if you do, you know, lose a wheel or something, or lose a tire, not lose a wheel, that would be wild. If you lose a tire, you can get that off so much faster. And I guess while I'm saying that, I totally recommend bringing blocks with you, because you can always prop an axle up on them blocks and just zip the other ones off and roll on. No jack needed. So that's a really condensed version of things you will need before you even go to Goshen or Elkhart, wherever the company is you're going to lease to. And I hope this helps somebody out. Like, if there's more you want to know, drop down in the comments. I'll get back with you. If you want to reach out to me because you're interested in doing this, I can let you know about where I work and how things run. I dropped my email down there, so y'all can reach out to me that way if you want to. But like I said, I just hope this helps somebody out. And there's so much more to my setup. I've got a generator, air conditioning, heat. I don't idle at night. And I keep lots of random different tools on me. So there's lots of things that, you know, further down the road that you may need after you get your basic stuff set up. But I see it every day. Like, transporters show up to orientation and they don't even have the simple things like mud flaps on their truck. You know, it's kind of chaotic when you want to take that lunch break at orientation just to run up to, you know, one of the couple places in town that put that stuff on for you. And I'm telling you, you're going to pay a premium if you have those places do it. So have that annual inspection done on your truck, have the mud flaps, the triangles, the fire extinguisher, all that good stuff ready to roll. I also highly recommend a dash cam. I think nowadays they're requiring it even. I got a cheap one off of Amazon. It really doesn't even have to be fancy. It just plugs into the USB and it's good to go. So like I said, I hope this helps somebody out. If you have questions, reach out to me, comment, send me an email, let me know. Like and subscribe if you want more stuff like this.